Hello viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to give you all the information about the Langflow AI Devs competition. To participate in this competition, you need to register on this page www.langflow.org AI-Devs-India. On this page, you have to register with your GitHub account. If you don't have the GitHub account, create one and then register with GitHub account. And also join their Discord server where you'll get all the information related to the competition. So that's about how you can register on this page and also join their Discord server. Next is about the challenge. Okay, so let me go to the next page. Here we are currently in week 2 of the challenge where we have to build the RAG workflow. The first week of the challenge was about different prompt engineering techniques. You can click on the I button and check my previous video where I have covered what is Langflow, what was the week 1 challenge about, and how to get started with the Langflow to participate in this challenge. Now in the week 2, we have to build RAG flow, which is nothing but retrieval augmented generation based workflows. That's something like you have these files provided by challenge team. Okay, let me go to this week 2 RAG flow challenge. So you have traditional food recipe PDF where all the traditional food recipes information is given. This will be your input file. AI Devs India week 2 is your basic Langflow workflow that they have provided, like a get starter template, which you can use to build the RAG flow. So a starter RAG flow template is given to you. You can modify, edit, and then build your RAG flow on top of that. Also, they've given you Q&A samples, which you can use to feed it to your RAG flow, which you are going to build, and then test whether your RAG flow is going to give you the proper answers, okay, against the different questions that you have in the CSV file, and then compare it against the expected answers, which will evaluate a particular score, whether the results are matching with the expected result and the output from your RAG flow. When these answers are matching, then it generates a higher score. If the match is not accurate, or there is some dissimilarities or more dissimilarities between these two answers, then what it will do, it will give lower scores. So that's the whole evaluation process. Now here you can see I have already set up Langflow in my local machine, which is running on this host and port. Okay, so on the local host 7860 port, it's already running. Okay, so let me click and go to that page. Here I've created some different flows folders like week 1 challenge, week 2 challenge, and my project challenge. Okay, so let me give you another background. So here you can click on this plus folder icon to create a new folder. Once you are into that folder, you can upload the JSON flow that they have provided. So first download that from this page. Okay, go to this page and download this file. Okay, and then from this folder, what you can do, simply drag and drop to this page. Okay, and this flow will be automatically imported here. Okay, once you join the Discord server, you can go to challenge 2 channel and you'll also find an evaluation flow which you can download. Okay, so let me download it and save it, and let me import that as well. So now I have I have imported evaluation flow as well. So these two flows are imported into my Langflow page. Now let me download also the PDF file as well as CSV file. I'll allow and save both the files. All right. So these two files will be used later once I will build the RAG flow. So let me give you details how you can build the RAG flow. Okay. So I'll again go back to my Langflow page here. First, I will open the RAG flow where we have to create the RAG flow. Okay. So this is the starter template that they have given. Here, let me zoom in. Here you see we have to upload a CSV, PDF file. Okay. Create like extract the text from this PDF file. So this component will automatically extract the text. Now each of these components you see have some codes written behind it. Okay. So Langflow is a UI based flow that we can prepare without need to write any single line of code. Okay. but still in the code behind you can see those code. So these are written in Python. Okay. So this imports a PDF file and also extracts the text which you can view from here. So let me first upload this PDF file that I downloaded. I'll go to downloads folder, and here I can see the PDF file traditional food recipes. Okay. If I'll just simply run it, it starts building this workflow. Okay. You can see running component. Okay. If you have any error, you can see the errors, or if it's successfully running, you can see these notifications as well. You can keep in dark or light mode as well. Okay. And these are different components that can be used to build your flows. Okay. Data, input, outputs, many different things. You can try from your end. Okay. I'm not going into all these details. Now you can click on this output icon, is eye icon. You click there and you can see the output. So it has extracted the text from that PDF file. You can see this is the extracted text. Okay. So this component basically extracts text from the PDF file. Then it's going to split into these chunks. Okay. So 800 chunk size. Okay. And 400 chunk overlapping. So let's say it's going to split those strings. Those text are nothing but strings, right? So it's going to split between these chunk sizes, and it also uses OpenAI embeddings model to create the embeddings, and those embeddings will be stored as vectors within your DB. DB is nothing but a vector database where you can store your document as vectors by creating the embeddings. For that, you need an OpenAI API key. Either you can paste the OpenAI key directly here, or you can simply create a variable. You click here on this globe icon, and there you see plus add a new variable. Okay, let me just zoom in. Okay, click on this globe icon, click on add a new variable. You can give your variable name and paste the API key value or alphanumeric string here and save the variable, and it will create OpenAI embedding. So here I have created some of the variables. I will store it. I will just select that, and now that API key is set here. Also, you need to know, remember, like whenever you are using a DB, vector DB, to create the embeddings, you have to ingest the data, right? Then also ingest the embeddings. So these two will be your input. Okay. Now, once your vector DB is having like all the embeddings are created in your vector DB, then next is you have to search those documents and feed it to your Open AI model or any other LLM model to give more context. Okay. So embedding is something that we are creating first time and only once. Okay. And then subsequent call to your DB will be for searching those embedded documents and giving it as a context to your LLM to give you the answers within that context. So that's why first we are creating these documents in the vector DB. So for that we have to ingest the data and the embeddings. So these two endpoints will be used as input. Later, same component will be used to search. In that case, we don't have to ingest the data. We have to search that. So the whatever the query we are going to pass to search the particular string or text, right, or line within our document DB or Chroma DB, right, or vector DB, it's going to search that from the DB and retrieve it. So the retrieval endpoint or the search result we are going to use later. Okay, so this will create a embedding. Okay, for that it also needs a persistent directory. Okay, and to work with Chroma DB you have to run it locally. Okay, Chroma DB you can run locally. For that, you need to install pip install Chroma DB if it's not installed in your machine, and then use this Chroma run hyphen hyphen host. And then since you are running it locally, you have to pass localhost and then port number on which you want to run, and then path to which your Chroma DB will be created. Okay, so this is the Chroma underscore data path that I'm giving in my current working directory. But you can use any other directory where you want to store this Chroma DB data, right? And just let me paste it here in another command prompt. I'll paste it and just hit it run. Okay, and you can see the Chroma DB instance is started and running on this port. Okay, once this Chroma DB instance is running, then if I go ahead and paste the same persistent directory where I'm trying to create the database, right? So I'll go to this. This is my directory where I have created my Chroma DB instance. Okay, and this is my collection. You can consider collection as some kind of table, okay, where it stores the record. But since these are document strings, you will not be using a table. Instead, you will be using a collection. So that's your collection name. Okay. So let it be as is. Okay. And then run it. So what is going to do? It is going to extract all the text. Then it's created embeddings, and then it's going to create vector DB. Okay. Now it is saying like this open API key is wrong. So maybe this is now invalid. So you can utilize a proper API key here properly, and this will work as is. Okay. But make sure your Chroma DB instance is running in another command prompt. Okay. Window. So once your embeddings are created, okay, you can go and now work on your rack flow, like how you can pass those vector documents for to your OpenAI to get the results. So here you can say, see, there is a chat input. Okay, so it's asking for your question. Okay, so you can provide some questions from the CSV provided, right? So let me open that CSV file. And here you can see there is one question. What are the ingredients method and method of preparation for amloki panaka? Okay, so let me put this question there. And this will be your question input. Then you have to pass, you have to use GPT-O mini model because the API is provided for GPT-4O mini model and for is text embedding 3 small. Okay, so your API key will only work with these two models. Okay, only with this is embedding model and only with this LLM model for open for getting the answers. Okay, so and where you'll get your OpenAI keys under the announcement channel in your Discord server, you'll get that. Okay, so under the announcement channel, I'm not going to expose those API keys. So under announcement channel, you'll receive that. Okay, so just select, just like I mentioned, you create a variable and set it in that variable and then select the variable so that you don't have to expose your API key. Okay, same API key you select here as well for embeddings. Now you see, once this question is created, I'm passing this question. Okay, I'm going to pass this question as a search query. Okay, to search for matching keywords within my ChromaDB database. I have created those embeddings, let's say here. Now I'll be searching those relevant documents. Okay, so this time I am inputting search query and embeddings instead of ingesting the data, because when we are creating the embeddings, then only we'll ingest the data. Okay, once that is done, we are getting those search results here. So once you run this component, you'll be able to see those search results. If your embeddings are properly created, you'll be able to see those search results by clicking on this eye icon, and it will give you the output of this component up to here. Now those search results will be passed because this is kind of a list. So from that list, you have to extract only the text values, right? So that's why we need to use a parse data component to convert it from a list to text, and it will extract all the text from each of those lists. So basically, let's say if you have received 5 strings or list values from your DB, so it will extract 5 lines and create one such 5 lines paragraph. Okay, and then that will be that you can see from here. So that will generate a text kind of data type of output, and that will be sent as a context, okay, to your prompt component. Also, I'm again connecting this question that I'm trying to ask to my LLM from that PDF. Okay, so the same question is now again attached to this question endpoint as an input. Okay, and then in the prompt you can expand it and you can see what is the prompt written. It's taking context. So anything which is in curly braces in this prompt component will be considered as variable. So question is one of the variable. Okay, context is one of the variable. If you are using memory based question answer or prompt, so in that case your message history or chat history will be another input or variable. Okay, so that also you can pass as history. I will not go into that details how you need to create the history. That's something you can check on YouTube. There are more videos to do that. So now you see context, history, and question. These are 3 different variables that now we have. Okay, I'll remove that for now. Okay, or let it be for now. So if you do that, now you see there is another input created as a variable. So you have to pass any history or memory that you have, chat history, to this endpoint later. Okay, if you're not passing anything, it will be going as blank to your prompt, but still your prompt will work. Okay, now all of this will go as a prompt message. So your prompt message has the context from the PDF, which is coming from your vector DB or Chroma DB, right? Then it has your question, and all of this prompt will go to your OpenAI LLM as input. Here also again you have to set your OpenAI key, and temperature value you can keep same, because now we want a accurate answer and not the creative answers. So if you increase the temperature, it gives more creative answer and deviates from actual answers. But if you keep the temperature low, between 0 to 2, okay, this value varies. So if you keep your temperature low, okay, then it will give more accurate answers. Now once this result is coming back as output, okay, so this you want to show as a chat output. Okay, just like in ChatGPT, you put some prompts and it gives you answers back, right, as a chat output. So this will be your chat output. Okay, now language evaluator component is what you are seeing, is a special component provided by Langflow team to evaluate your RAG flow, whether you have created it properly, whether your question answers are matching against the question answers that are there in your CSV file. If it is matching, you'll get a high score for that question answer pair submission. If it's not matching, you'll get a low score. Okay, so in that case, you have to also give the correct answer or ground truth, okay, from your CSV file. So I've opened the CSV file in Notepad++. You see, for this question, what we are expecting is this answer. Okay, like what are the ingredients and method of preparation for amloki? And so you can see the ingredients and method of preparation here, right? So this is an expected answer or actual answer. If your prompt or if your OpenAI LLM is giving the proper answer, then that confirms that your OpenAI retrieval is working fine. Okay. Also, whatever the retrieved results you are getting from this, you can connect it to language evaluator component as a RAG search results, which will be used to check whether you are getting the answers from your actual RAG search based values or retrieved values, or is it giving on its own, like LLM is giving the results on its own rather than from the context, right? So that you can put here. You can put correct answer here. Okay. So let me copy this and paste it here. So the answer that is coming from your LLM and the answer that is expected will be matched against the like text matching, and it will see if there is a deviation. So it will generate a score based on that. That score you can see once a trace URL is generated. So once you run it, it will run end-to-end flow, and then you will be able to see a trace URL generated at the end, which you can open in the browser. Okay, and you can see the score. So let me open one of the results that I have. So you will get a trace URL like this. Okay, once you visit that page, you can see the your email ID. Okay, your name, your question ID. Also, you'll get input question. You'll get all the context in this JSON format, like all the retrieved documents from your Chroma DB database. Okay, and the output from your LLM based on the given prompt. You are not submitting any prompt here. You are submitting your prompt to your OpenAI, and those results you are submitting to Langwash from the LLM. So you will not be able to see the prompt, but you will see the results or the answers against your given question. So this was your question, and this is the answer, and that is coming from your PDF, which was first used to create the embeddings. Okay. So this is all about trace details. Then you will go to evaluation tab, and here you can see the evaluation score. One means it's a perfect score, like your answer is matching, your LLM answer is matching against the expected answer or actual answer. Okay, so that's how you'll know your evaluation is correct. Okay, now let me also open DataStax. Okay, so DataStax is a company which provides AstraDB serverless vector database, or you can use as a non-vector database as well. Okay, so you sign in using your Google account. So here, once you have signed in, you can go to databases. Here you can see I have created Ayush database, and if you don't have any database, you can click on create database. Okay, it will ask you want to create a non-vector or vector database. For RAG we need a vector database, so select this, give your database name and where you want it to be hosted. I have selected Google Cloud because only one region is available, rest of the regions are logged. There is also one region available on AWS, which is US East, so you can select that as well and create database, or you can select Google Cloud and select the region, this one, and create the database. It will create this database. Once you click on that database, you go to your endpoint. You can see the endpoint here. Okay, you can generate a token to connect to this endpoint. Okay, so these endpoints and token will be used to connect to your AstraDB. This is AstraDB, right? Vector database. Okay, you can also see the status of your DB, whether it's running or not. You can see it's hibernated, like it's in sleep mode because I'm not utilizing it as of now. But if you're using, it will use this. Go to Data Explorer and you can also resume the database. It will take some time. Okay, let me go to settings. So sometimes what will happen, this AstraDB will not be accessible. So you have to click add access and add your current IP address or your machine address. Copy this and automatically it will put it here, and click add address. So it will automatically add the IP address of your machine to connect to this database. Okay. Sometimes that connectivity will not work. So you have to allow your machine's IP addresses to connect to this database. Also in Data Explorer, once database is resumed, you will be able to see all the vectors or the document list or the chunking that we have created or embeddings that I have created. Okay. So in place of ChromaDB component here in your RAG flow, what you can do, you can use AstraDB component as well. So there is vector store, right? So drag it here. Instead of ChromaDB, this data will go to your AstraDB component. Okay. And similarly, there is search input. So your search input here, your search query will go to your search endpoint when you are using this for searching and not for the embedding. Also, the API endpoint that I showed you in that portal, you can set it here for AstraDB, and the token you can set it here. Okay, so through this endpoint and token, you'll be able to connect to your AstraDB instance, and you can also give a collection name just like here to create the your vector collection. Okay, so that will be saved remotely into AstraDB, which is created on DataStax platform. Okay, so anything is fine as long as your RAG flow is having one chat input, one chat output, okay, and language evaluator to submit your RAG output to uh, for final submission, right? So that's your RAG flow creation. Then there is also a workflow for evaluation. So currently we tested, let's say, one RAG flow with one question at a time, right? But this flow gives you flexibility to run multiple questions against your uh, LLM and get the answers and get it evaluated automatically. So you have to upload your CSV file here, question answer CSV file, the sample that they have given. And for this question and answer, your RAG flow that you have created, which is this one, week 2 RAG flow, whatever we had, right? Select that flow and give your email ID and username. Okay, and simply run from this one, save data to CSV file. You can give a CSV file name, which will be your output. So this flow is taking your question answer sample file as input, and it will try to put one question and one ground truth or answer at a time to your RAG flow. Okay, and also it will take the email and username, and it will try to submit one question at a time. So this sample has 10 questions, so that means it will iterate over this flow 10 times and it will do 10 submissions in one go. Okay, and with that 10 submission, it will generate 10 URLs which will be saved into the CSV file. Okay, once you click on this eye icon, it will give you output path where it is saving this file. Okay, so you can visit that path, open that path in your Windows Explorer, and simply check all the URLs one by one by browsing like this. Okay, and check the scores for your submission. So total of those scores will give you whether you have got the higher scores or not, right? So that will give you idea like your scores are good or not. Okay, so that's about your RAG flow as well as how you can submit